and welcome to Victorious Living Stepping Forward. My name is Sheridan Correa, and I am your host of this broadcast. I am also the digital content manager for Victorious Living. And what that means is I'm the one uploading all of the video content, all the podcasts, like whatever y'all are listening to and watching. I have the privilege to upload it and to bring it to you. Why do we do this? Because, man, life is a struggle and we need help. And we are on this journey called Life Together. And it is so it is so good to be here with you today. No matter where you're watching, if you're in your cell, on your bunk, or in the dorm, or outside, or even in your home, I'm so glad that you're here with me today and tuning in. Now, here at Stepping Forward, what I'll be doing is sharing life experiences. I will share with you all my failures, all my victories, and what not to do, what to do. Like, we're going to go through all of it. I'll be very transparent and vulnerable with you. And why would I do this? Because again, the journey and the struggle is real, and I am your co-journeyer on this in this life, and on the road to recovery, and whatever you are dealing with, I'm here for you. So this is an informational and educational segment only. I am not holding out to be a counselor. This is purely me sharing, two people sitting around talking together and sharing experiences. Why would you even listen to me? That is a great question. So I have been walking with the Lord for 6 years now. I have experienced the transforming power of Jesus Christ. He came into my life. I gave him my whole self. And the results and the fruit of that have been absolutely miraculous, and something that I could never, ever manufacture or achieve on my own. It's not because I'm good, it's because he's good, and he gets all the praise and the glory. I will always be pointing you back to God, because he is the source of absolutely everything that we are seeking and needing in our lives. So today we are talking about addiction. And the reason why I chose this topic is, in your prison correspondence, as y'all are writing us, which thank you so much for writing us. We love getting your letters. We want to hear your hearts. We want to understand what you are wrestling with. We want to know what we can talk about on these broadcasts that will help you. Okay, so thank you for writing, and continue to do that. But there's an underlying theme in all of the correspondence, all of your letters to us, that talk about addiction. I am in addiction. I've been in addiction since I was 12. I don't know how to stop. I can't get out of it. And y'all, I can really, I got you. Okay. I got you. I understand that place very well. And I understand that stronghold very well. What I mean by stronghold is, a stronghold is something that has a strong hold over your life, and kind of has you in this place of captivity and bondage. And addiction is one of the worst, one of the absolute worst. So I'm going to share my experience, a little bit of my experience with you. I was addicted to, let's see, my addiction didn't start till I was in my 20s. And I was addicted to my prescription pain pills. I was addicted to my prescription psych meds. It evolved into alcohol. It evolved into meth and heroin. And eventually I found myself in a revolving door, going to jail all the time, awaiting my prison sentence and signing my prison plea. And I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop. I knew I needed to stop because I could clearly see the destruction in my life, but I couldn't stop. I did not have the willpower. I did not have the strength. I did not have the stamina. I did not have anything to be that circuit breaker that created that sustainable and lasting change. So the last time I went into jail, I found myself in, or I was in the psych ward in P5 in Australia jail. And I had come to this point in my life, I'm kicking heroin, I'm withdrawing from meth, I'm withdrawing from a whole bunch of other substances, and I lost my liberty, I've lost my kids, I've lost my mind, I lost absolutely everything on my way to prison, and I tried to commit suicide while I was in jail that last time. And I was done, y'all. I had ended up in this life that I didn't wake up. As a child, I wasn't sitting there daydreaming about, oh gosh, when I grow up, I want to be a criminal. When I grow up, I want to be a drug addict. When I grow up, I want to be a drug dealer. I want to lose my kids. I want to have unhealthy relationships. I want to destroy my life. I want to amount to nothing. And I want to find purpose in corruption and destruction. We don't do that. I didn't do that. But that's what my life had become. That's what my life had become. And I was resolved at that point because I didn't know how to change it. I didn't know what the first step was. I didn't know what to do. I was resolved that I was going to be in that life for the rest of my life. Okay. And do you know why? Because I had tasted the other side of that coin. I had tasted goodness, and I had tasted success, and I had tasted other things that normal people do and turn to. But now my life swung completely the opposite way. And I was so fearful. I was overcome with fear and shame and guilt and anxiety, and not even knowing where to start, and not having any strength or any hope or any help in really, really changing my life. When I left P5 and from the psych ward and went into Gen Pop, I had just given up. Okay, God, I didn't even know God at that time, really, but I'm going to go to prison. Like, that's great. That's better than continuing doing what I'm doing. That is better than revolving in and out of jail. That is better than anything else at this point. And I was resolved and accepted my consequence. Yes, I'm guilty. I've done all those things, and just send me. I'm ready to go. What I did not know was that God would meet me in that place at the lowest point of my life. Don't have it all together. I am literally sucking as a human being. I am doing a horrible job giving into all of my evil desires and selfish desires of my heart. I am wild and untamed, running rampant, chaotic, dysfunctional. And God met me in that place. And God brought me into relationship with him. He chased me down and pursued me. He started revealing himself to me, and I said yes. And I, at that point, it wasn't, yes, God, you can only have my addiction, but no other area of my life. It was just a crying out for help. Like, hey, what he had spoken to me was, Sheridan, if your life was a business and you are the CEO of this business, Girl, no. Mm-mm. What you need to do is fire yourself, step down from this lofty place of CEO, and you need to hire me as your CEO. That is what he spoke to me in my heart, inside. And I can totally understand that. Yes, Lord. Oh my gosh. Okay, you're right. I am no longer in control. I need to kick myself off the throne. I need to stop playing God and act like I got this whole thing together and act like I know what I'm doing with my life, because I didn't. It was very, very clear. So the minute that I surrendered my life and my heart to God, and I didn't even know what that looked like, things started to significantly change in my life. I went to Phoenix Rescue Mission in Arizona for a year and a half. It was a prison deferment. And but I was resolved to go to prison. I was like, you want to send me to prison, God? Cool, I will go to prison. I'll send you, I'll go wherever you send me because you're coming with me. I'm no longer alone. I'm no longer trying to figure this out by myself. I don't feel helpless anymore. I am not without hope anymore. Despair was gone. All the voices in my head were gone. I had peace. I knew I was accepted. I knew I was loved. And that began to change me from the inside out. So I was sent to Phoenix Rescue Mission, where I was there for a year and a half. It was a Christ Center 12-step program to bring about transformation and life change. And I gave myself wholeheartedly to this program and to God. The program is not what helped me, okay? Or the program is not what transformed me and changed me. The 12 steps, there is great purpose in each of those steps, right? And what you're doing is you're stepping closer, you're stepping further, and you're on your way and on the journey toward healing and peace and freedom and wholeness. But every single one of those steps I had to take with the power of God. I had to take with him being on the throne. I had to take with Jesus Christ as my savior and my rescuer. I had to put myself totally in the back seat and surrender all of me. That even meant my compulsions, my impulsions, all of these um, all of these things that I ran to in the past that brought me relief, that would bring me a temporary rescue, that would numb me, that I could escape with, that I could, just check out of life, honestly, not face my problems, have zero responsibility in my life for how my life has turned out. Like all of that had to change. All of that had to change. And it did at the Phoenix Rescue Mission. So each of those steps that we are taking on this journey, God is the power source behind each of those steps. It's not, oh, the program is what keeps me safe and the program is my savior. And no. It's the power source behind, it's the power behind each of those steps and each of those practices that we are doing that get us closer and that have us on our journey and on our way to wholeness and peace and freedom and healing. Okay. So let me remember what it was because I just squirreled out, I think. So I had, I knew I was new. I knew I was different. I knew I felt different. I knew that I was now no longer alone and that I was no longer hopeless anymore. But I didn't know what to do with it still. When I went to Phoenix Rescue Mission, I originally thought, okay, cool, yes. Some long sober time is what will fix me. My problem is drugs. I don't have any other problems. My problem is drugs. I just need to stay sober and create that new habit of, some abstinence from drugs. And that's what's going to fix me and I will be fine. Total lie. Oh, wow. It was revealed to me very soon that substance abuse, addiction was not my problem. That was a symptom of my problem. So that was a side effect or a result of a cause. You know, you've heard of cause and effect, right? You have an event and something happens, and then you have these effects, you have the side effects, you have the symptoms, you have these ripples that happen because of the event. Well, I was way over here in the ripples and in the side effects, and substance abuse and addiction was one of those things. So God had really shown me that, excuse me, that substances, your addictions are not your problem. They're a symptom of the problem. They are a fruit of the root cause. And he took me on this journey of understanding the deeper inner workings and my inner life of myself that I had never ever paid attention to or never faced, or it was never revealed to me. So the recovery, the recovery and the rehab that I was in for my substances became much bigger than just that. It became a recovery of life and a recovery from my inner self. And I set foot on this journey of my insides that I didn't know that I needed. I thought just behavior modification, you know, okay, let me remove this. This is my problem. This is my problem. This is my problem. This is my problem. Let me just remove these things and I'll be fine. No, 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 no. It was a much deeper and more intimate place. So I began this journey of life recovery, and I wanted to show you, I hope that makes sense to you, and you can see that happening in my story. Again, opiates, alcohol, meth, heroin, whatever else I was doing and addicted to, those were just side effects of the real problem. Okay. The real problem was all of the unresolved traumas. The real problem was being so disciplined in a very negative way, um, being so good at and habitual um, to responding and reacting to and following through the evil desires of my heart and the things that I just wanted. Hey, I want to get high. Hey, I want to get numbed up and I want to escape my life because that's way better and way easier than facing it. I don't even know how to face it. I'm fearful of absolutely everything that's going on inside of me. I don't know what to do with it. So, yeah, let me get high. That's way easier. Or there's a victim mindset. Man, that dude did me dirty. My parents did me dirty. I have all these things, all these hurts, all these offenses that I have carried with me from my childhood and or into my adulthood or both. And they are unresolved. I don't know how to forgive. I don't even know forgiveness is a thing. And so they just begin to stack up and hoard inside of me, and it creates such pressure, it creates such corruption that a lot of times we don't know what to do with that. And so again, addiction and substances is a great choice to quieting the inner monster and quieting all of the unrest and unresolved hurts that are happening within us. That was my experience too. There's many different facets of my story, my backstory, and my story now. And I hope this makes sense to you. And we can get into all of the little nooks and crannies and the facets of each of these. But addiction, again, here's the takeaway. Addiction was not my problem. Addiction was a cover up and a symptom of the real problem. So the unresolved traumas in my childhood, in my adult life, all the hurts, all the offenses that I wasn't clearing out, I didn't know how to clear out, creating pressure inside of me, creating unrest, creating a corruption and a mental and emotional chaos and dysfunction inside of me, it was very obvious for substances to be an answer to me. And I didn't know Christ at that time. I didn't know God. I knew of him. Like, yeah, there's that angry man in the sky and he's going to punish me. So I'm not trying to hang out with him. No way. I knew of an angry God. I was taught that God's character was one of anger. He was going to hurt me. He was going to slug me, not hug me. I wasn't trying to hang out with anybody like that, right? We're not. So I ran the other way. But in God's grace and in God's kindness, he revealed himself, his true character to me. And it was one of compassion. It was one of mercy, who was quick to forgive, abounding in endless love, and wanted a relationship with me. And I found him at my lowest, at my worst, at my God, I have nothing to offer. I'm not cool. And I'm trying to throw myself away, but you want to hang out with me? Like, that's kind of weird. And I've never experienced this before, but yes, Lord. Yes. Okay. I hope you can get a very clear picture here of just what was chaos and what was dysfunction and what was a state of unrest and bitterness and fear and shame and victimization and blaming everybody else, and how that translated into many unhealthy behaviors. And addiction is one of them. Okay. Hey, y'all. Sorry. Pardon the interruption. We need to take an intermission here. This episode needs to be 2 different episodes. So I'm so sorry for the interruption, and we will continue this conversation next week. So be watching for the whole second part of this one. And after these 2 are done, we will be continuing the whole conversation on addiction and traumas, et cetera, et cetera. I was just thinking about this a little while ago, changing that word addicted, because there's such a stigma to that, to just a commitment to something that is unhealthy. And I want to kind of reframe that wording for all of us. And you'll see why later on in the other episodes. But we love y'all so much. Thank you for just tuning in. Be sure to check out the other resources. Christy Overton Johnson's More Victorious Living. She's doing a whole series right now on Free for Life, for real. And it is for real. It is amazing content. It ministers to my heart. It brings me encouragement and hope. She is anointed and she is incredible. So y'all, I hope you're watching that. We have the magazine. We have the Victorious Living podcasts, and we also have our correspondence. So continue to write to us, y'all. We love getting your letters. Tell us what you're wrestling with. Ask us any questions. We will answer them on the air, and walk this journey of freedom and life with you together. So thank you for tuning in and watching. God bless you. God loves you. We love you so much, and we will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Are you an inmate in prison who needs encouragement? Write to us at Victorious Living, P.O. Box 2751, Greenville, North Carolina 27836. To view Victorious Living magazine in its entirety, please have your chaplain contact us at 352-478-2098 or through our website, vlmag.org. We are happy to provide bulk copies free of charge with or without staples. God bless you.